yet this far has my strong vote of confidence. But the essential question that I want to address tonight is, what do you do after you have graduated from UCSD? You see, I don't want you to end up like the original astronauts who couldn't figure out what they do after having gone to the moon. It's not a pretty story in many cases, so we don't want that to happen to you. What I will propose tonight might help you build on your past success and prime you to tackle the challenges that you're going to face in the future. My overall suggestion is that you focus on getting better. Better at whatever you did that got you here, and then do some more. Dr. Keller said, we don't remain good if we don't always strive to get better. It's really interesting to watch the truly high-performing people in our society. No matter how much they think they know, or how much they do, they're always trying to turn it up a notch. Here are 3 simple guidelines from my list to help you turn it up a notch. You might call these Prof. Willie's rules. First rule is, take responsibility for your health. Number 2, be prepared for hidden opportunities. And rule number 3, be a dreamer. Let's get right on to rule number 1. A number of years ago, a student in my microbiology class asked me to let her bring her dog to class. And I refused on the basis that the situation could be disruptive and would lead to other students wanting to do the same thing. But a few months later, I met her dog and realized that I had made a terrible mistake. Actually, the dog would have been a much better audience for my class than some of the students. The dog was alert, enthusiastic, and respectful. It did not consume gallons of black coffee, or use drugs, or drink alcohol. Her dog did not stay up late at night, or eat junk food. He wasn't tone deaf from listening to loud music. From all indications, this student took better care of her dog than most people take care of themselves. Most people assume that their health is someone else's responsibility, their parents, the doctor, or the government. Heaven forbid. Some people do not get serious about their health until after the first heart attack. Are you heading in that direction? Look, as much as 80% of the illnesses that people go to the doctor for can be prevented through behaviors that you can do something about. I'm talking about healthier diet, more exercise, better control of stress, and adequate sleep. My point is that you have enormous potential and can do great things. But it is hard to make great contributions when you have health problems. I want you to do everything you can to take care of your health so that you, your families, and society will reap the benefits of your true potential. To repeat, rule number 1, take responsibility for your health. The next rule is to be prepared for hidden opportunities. America is still a land of great opportunities, but sometimes you have to look in some not so obvious places to find them. I call these hidden opportunities. Let me share with you how this concept turned my career around. People often ask me to share with them the secret to my success as a teacher. And obviously there are a number of factors, but some of the best ones came unexpectedly. For example, one day while I was checking my email, I got a message from Manfred Lee, who's a graduate student at Berkeley. Berkeley Willie, he was one of my students here at UCSD before he left, and he was going to be a TA for the first time at Berkeley, and said that since I was his best professor while I was at UCSD, he thought that I could give him some advice. Without hesitation, I sat down at the computer and typed out 13 principles and said, hey, this looks pretty good, and sent them on. After I sent the email, I looked over the list again and thought, hey, this is some really good stuff. I hope he uses it. Several months later, I got another message from Manfred saying that he had gotten several teaching awards using my principles and thanking me very much. Then I said to myself, hey, this stuff works. Maybe I ought to use it myself. And that's when I started getting teaching awards like that. Since I am in church, I feel obligated to make full disclosure. You see, I confess that this story is only partially true. Yes, I did get a letter from Manfred, and yes, I did file off 13 suggestions that I was just dreaming up because at the time I didn't really know what I was doing. But I don't know if Manfred ever got any teaching awards. And if he did, I don't know if it was because he was using my stuff. As a matter of fact, after his initial email request, I never heard from Manfred again. But this much is true. His flattering email message inspired me to use and improve on what I told him that he should be doing. And that might be the major contributor to my subsequent success as a teacher. Coach, here's my point. Manfred Lee's letter was an opportunity in this country. An opportunity to evaluate my own teaching effectiveness and figure out what I needed to do to improve. Did you miss out on any hidden opportunities at UCSD? They're there. And I know students who miss them all the time. As a matter of fact, I have made a career out of helping students find and using hidden opportunities to succeed far beyond what their grades and test scores predict. Here's a tip. As you go through life, find out what issues are holding people back and correct them in your own personality. Quick example. Many people today are having trouble being nice to people. Kind of stuff out there, not very nice. Talking about a hidden opportunity, you will be amazed at how many doors will open for you if all you do is work at being a nicer person. To review, rule number 1, take responsibility for you. Rule number 2, be prepared for hidden opportunities. Get with me now. It's going to get better. My final rule number 3, be a dreamer. I sometimes feel that in our emphasis on facts and getting things done, we overly focus on cognitive skills at the expense of other mental abilities. We stress logical thinking, systematic problem solving, but we say very little about the creative process. I'm talking about imagination, or what we call visualization, creative dreaming, daydreaming. All of these refer to the same thing. We're talking about the creative process. Some of you might, but few people realize that the imagination combined with other abilities can lead to extraordinary accomplishments in careers, personal lives, and in contributions to society. Legendary basketball great Bill Russell attributes much of his success to daydreaming. As he rode on the bus between games and practice sessions, He would picture in his mind the moves of the great players and then practice these moves over and over until he could duplicate them precisely on the basketball court. You see, Russell enhanced his athletic ability using the process that they couldn't even teach him on the basketball court. Listen to this. Research has shown that imagined events imprinted deeply in the mind are recorded by the brain and central nervous system as memories. With practice and repetition, one can imagine well enough so that these memories are not distinguishable from actual physical experience. These are the words of Dr. Charles Garfield, the psychologist to the astronauts who went to the moon. Let me tell you what this process means to me. My experiences in Bedford, a small town in Virginia, left me with a well-cultivated imagination. Circumstances at the time were not very attractive, so that I often dreamed of what life would be like somewhere else or in the future. These were tough times. I'm talking about the times of kerosene lamps instead of electric lights, well water and hand pumps instead of running water, Saturday night baths in a tub instead of showers every day, ice boxes instead of refrigerators, radios instead of television, slop jars in the corner of the room and outhouses instead of indoor toilets. That's what it was like. Is there anyone here who knows what I'm talking about? There were wars going on, food and gasoline rationing, and to top it off, you had to throw in segregation. This meant living on the wrong side of the tracks, riding in the back of the bus, separate drinking fountains and toilets, separate and unequal schools, and saying yassa and nossa to white men. That's what I went through in my early years. That might seem like I had nothing and was going nowhere, but let me tell you this. I had dreams. I dreamed about being a scientist of all things. When I was working on a housing construction crew, I tried to imagine what it would be like to have a custom home built for me. During the 7 years that I worked as a shoe shine boy at a white barber shop, there were long stretches of time between the customers with nothing to do. I dreamed outrageous dreams during the time. I dreamed about walking the streets of Greece and Rome. Dreams like having a meaningful career and living in coastal California, smelling the orange blossoms, seeing the palm trees, walking the beaches, and listening to the roar of the waves. Now, just so you don't think that I was totally out of my mind, let's fast forward a few decades and see if any of those dreams came true. I've been living on the West Coast since 1960 in the coastal San Diego County since 1967. I've traveled to 17 countries, several of them more than once, and lived in a foreign country for 9 months. About 26 years ago, my wife and I built a home in Del Mar on a prime view acre with essentially no money. The financial how-to came in a dream. We're now living in a 4,000 square foot custom home on the right side of the freeway in Encinitas. With the profits we made from the selling of the house we built with no money, and in that home, we have electric lights instead of kerosene lamps. Running water instead of well water. 5 indoor toilets, a Roman bath, an artist studio, a private guest apartment, and to make things interesting, a large room that serves as a library, office, sitting room, miniature concert hall, and theater with big screen, high definition TV. Take a stroll outside, and you will find lush gardens, and a large koi pond that expanded on a dream that started when my mother and I built a small fish pond almost 6 decades ago. During my 34-year tenure at UCSD, I have been involved in teaching, research, publishing, serving on local and national committees, and helping young people understand the power they have within them to shape the direction of their lives. And these were all extensions of my dreams to have a challenging and meaningful career. Now, why am I telling you all of this? To brag? To try to impress you? Of course not. I just want you to understand that this dreaming stuff works if you follow through. Forming mental pictures about what you want to accomplish and what you want your life and the world to be like works. It worked for me, and it worked for Albert Einstein when he came up with the theory of relativity. I can imagine that dreaming worked for African-American Garrett A. Morgan, who invented the first automatic traffic signal and the gas mask. I'm sure that Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela acted on their dreams as they led millions of people to freedom. Dreaming worked for the students who gave birth to Third, now Marshall College. The only question I have for you is, will you let dreaming work for you? As I close, I applaud you for doing what you had to do to get a UCSD degree. But I'm even more excited about how far you can go if you just turn up a notch or two. Imagine how much more you could accomplish with your UCSD diploma in one hand and a copy of Prof. Willie's book